Once you've got your eligibility verified, you can then go down to the 8th floor of Immigration Tower and adjust your Hong Kong identity card from your temporary ID card to a permanent ID card. And if you remember when you got your temporary ID card issued to you, it was literally a piece of paper, and then a few days later you had to go and collect your smart ID card. Well, when you get your permanent identity card, it's exactly the same process again. You will get a temporary ID card. About 10 days later, you get your permanent smart ID card. And then with your permanent identity card, you just come and go through the borders of Hong Kong using your identity card without needing to present your passport. And once you get the right of abode, you effectively become you get de facto citizenship of Hong Kong, although you can't qualify automatically for a HKCR passport, because to get a HKCR passport, you need to take an extra step, which is to relinquish your existing nationality and then qualify independently for Chinese citizenship. And once you've got Chinese citizenship, disavowing yourself of all your existing nationalities, and you're a permanent resident of Hong Kong, then you can get a HKCR passport. So if you're going to maintain your existing nationality whilst you're a permanent resident of Hong Kong, you will not be eligible to apply for a HKCR passport. And as I've mentioned, this right of abode that you get is actually something less than a right, because if you secure the right of abode by virtue of your Chinese citizenship, either through direct acquisition of citizenship or Chinese citizenship by descent, then the right of abode that you get cannot be lost. However, if you are a long-stay foreign national who secure the right of abode using this technique, it can be lost. The way that you maintain your right of abode as a long-stay foreign national resident is to be physically present in Hong Kong on at least one occasion in any 36-month given period. So it means once you've got the right of abode, you can go away, and as long as you come back within one time in any 3-year given period, you'll maintain your right of abode. So it's a very simple right to maintain, but it can be lost. And the idea here, the idea behind this, was to attach your ability to maintain the right of abode to your geographical presence in Hong Kong. And if you are not physically present in Hong Kong on at least one occasion in a 3-year given period, then you will, by operation of law, be automatically downgraded to the right to land. Now, the right of abode actually comes with a number of different rights, including the right not to be removed, the right not to be deported, and you also get the right to land by implication. But if you lose the right of abode and you're downgraded to the right to land, effectively you can be removed and you can be deported from Hong Kong, but when you present yourself in the future, the immigration officer will always have to admit you because you do have the right to land in Hong Kong. And with that right to land are all the attendant privileges associated with formal residence here. So you can join in a business, you can take up employment, any kind of lawful activity without any recourse to the immigration department at all. So in a very practical sense, even if you're downgraded from the right of abode to the right to land, it's not going to have any negative consequences for you as regards your ability to live and function and work and do all the kind of things that you would normally like to be doing in Hong Kong. So yeah, be aware that you can lose the right of abode, but in that case, the right to land that you get is practically just as good as the right of abode, although it's not going to afford you the ability to participate in taxation advantages or stamp duty advantages by owning property, for example. That's the only reserved for people who are formal permanent residents of Hong Kong. Okay, so what kind of documents do you normally adduce when you're making your application? Well, as I mentioned, the anchor documents are your continuous series of taxation returns and proof that you've either owned a residence here or you've been renting here. If you are unable to fulfill a straightforward sequence of documents in those two areas, then any other documentation that speaks to your lives here. If you've got children in school, copies of the children's school reports, for example, throughout the 7 years. If you've held a bank account here with Hong Kong addresses throughout all this time, copies of your bank statements. Effectively, what you need to do is you've got to say to yourself, right, I've definitely been here 7 years and I'm going to pass this test, but I'm a bit shy on my taxation documents. I'm a bit shy on my residence documents. What else have I got that clearly speaks to the reality that I've been ordinarily resident in Hong Kong? So do an analysis of your life and look to see what you can lay your hands on. And then normally you can put together a mosaic or a patchwork of documents that actually support the idea that you have been continuously and ordinarily resident here. Okay. So that's it. Everything that you need is on the website, and anything that I haven't touched upon, you're most welcome to ask me questions about now, if you wish. Thanks.